Canada is about to send a trade mission to Mexico, a very important trade mission. It will be led by none other than the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau himself. And it's all about retaliating against the United States for the new tariffs that were imposed on Canadian and Mexican aluminum and steel producers. Now, this move was very unexpected from Mexico. Nobody saw it coming. The US president has been stubbornly refusing to remove those tariffs, even though the EU has filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization. So Mexico decided enough is enough. We've had it with the US president's stubbornness. We don't care that he's acting in the best interest of the United States. We're not going to just sit back and watch our economy suffer. We will make sure that we retaliate. And that is exactly what they're doing. Mexico's economy ministry announced that the trade mission will be visiting several Mexican states to show solidarity with local producers affected by the additional 10% tariffs that were imposed by the US government. The ministry said the measures that were taken by the US government are unjustified and do not contribute to the national security of the United States. They went on to say that the mission will include representatives from various federal government entities, state governments, and private sector groups. So it's really interesting because you can see that the private sector groups are also suffering from these tariffs. The mission will take place between June and June, and during that time, participants will tour companies in the state of Sonora, Chihuahua, Coahuila, and Nuevo León that produce goods made of steel and aluminum. The main purpose of this trip is to show solidarity with workers and companies that are suffering from these new tariffs. In addition to that, they want to offer them support, and they want to explain how the government is working to find alternative markets for the steel and aluminum products. You have to remember that Mexico and Canada are the two largest trading partners of the United States when it comes to automotive products. Even China is not the largest trading partner. So you can imagine how harmful these tariffs are to the US economy. And even though the United States government keeps saying that there are no issues with their economy, that is doing just fine, we know that it's not true. In fact, just recently, I shared with you several reports that showed that the manufacturing and service sectors are slowing down dramatically in the United States. And even though the stock market is at its all-time high, that is not a good indicator of how the economy is doing. That is not a good indicator of how the middle class is doing. While the stock market may be at an all-time high, Americans are struggling to pay their rent. There's absolutely no improvement when it comes to income inequality in the United States. At this point, the only thing that we can hope for is that cooler heads will prevail, that the US president will listen to the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and will remove these tariffs. Even the European Union is telling the United States that they are on the side of Mexico and Canada and that they don't agree with these tariffs. Unfortunately, the US government is moving forward with this very harmful policy, and this will be reflected in the third quarter GDP report. The retaliatory tariffs that were imposed by Mexico took effect on Monday. They are set to remain in place for an indefinite period of time until the US government removes those tariffs. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Will this trade mission help, or is it just a symbolic gesture? I would love to hear from you. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to join me on my other platforms. And I will see you in my next one tomorrow. Take care.